welcome back to the mother effing ethers, bitch. Yeah. I
Hell
was
yeah.
I was gonna do this little bit where I was like, hello? Oh yeah, it's a motherfucking this bitch. But I decided it didn't really make sense for me to be the one picking up the phone and saying who we were, you know? So I scrapped it. But I think in essence, you guys get it. You get
Right?
why. You get the
Yeah.
energy behind it. But yeah, hello, welcome back. We're happy to be back. By the time you're seeing this, it's going to be May already, which is crazy pants USA. I can't believe how fast this year has gone already. I feel like it was just January.
Very-
It's
5
crazy.
months in is crazy.
Yeah, literally, me being like 27 and a half practically already. I feel like it was just my birthday. So weird.
Yeah, facts. I felt like the winter was so long, and here comes spring, but it is spring forward, fall back. So that makes
Spring. It's 33 degrees where I am. The hell?
yeah. It's gonna rain soon. It's like 72. It's
But I was happy to see the blue sky today. Very on brand with our color scheme today, actually, is how the sky looked this morning.
kind of
Opening my
chill
window.
day. I ain't bringing the beads out today. We ain't in teacher mode. I'm in relax mode today.
Yeah, we're in chill chit chat mode today. Before I say the topic and we kind of dive right in, I do want to tell you that this morning when I opened my eyes and I looked right out the window at the sky, I thought of you because we always keep our window shades open.
Hell yeah, all the time. Whether it be hell, sleet, or snow, I need that sun ray somehow.
Yeah, it was
That
just funny
daytime.
because as soon as I like looked over and I saw the sky, my first thought was, "Oh, the sky looks so pretty," and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like Banks and I really do bond over that because it's nice to kind of just see the sun and like the good vibes right outside
Facts.
first
Like
thing.
even if it's gloomy, that light in general, I need it. So
I need it. SpongeBob reference insert here.
facts.
Uh, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. So this week we decided to take a little bit of a break from teacher mode, but at the end, of course, we're gonna have our celestial check-in. So we're gonna still kind of give our astrology and our little tarot talk, because we can't have the ethers without a little bit of that. You know what I mean? We love to educate. And but we were kind of talking the other day, and David here posted a video talking about solitude, and I was like, we should talk about that on the podcast because I think it's a very interesting topic about embracing solitude and how like kind of learning to live in isolation can really foster your spiritual growth. So we're just going to kind of freeball it here today. And I'll open up the floor first to David since he inspired the whole thing with his little video. And then maybe I'll drip in my 2 cents as time goes on here. So go ahead, baby. What do you think about it as a whole? And kind of elaborate on what you said in your video, etc.
Basically, the video I did I think it was like yesterday. It was like about healing by yourself and not
Mm.
being toxic codependent per se. Because I'm gonna put myself on the cross. I've dealt with that for the first time in my life when I was married, and I felt like I've never seen that before, and how important it was for actually to regulate my feelings when I was going through something and learning I had to be by myself and her. She really I don't think she ever had a chance to actually be by herself and like actually deal with her problems and emotions. So I really do believe that it's very important. Now, some people may go as far as, maybe just go full ghost mode without telling anyone. I don't think that's necessarily healthy either. Because at
Mhm.
least, like, if you are going to do that and someone reaches out, at least tell them, like, hey, I'm not feeling too well. I'm just, isolating. I'm going through things. And hopefully that friend understands because some people be thinking, oh, you sub it. It's just a whole bunch
They
of
take it personal, but like at the end of the day, like you almost need to do that. Like if you feel called to kind of go into hermit mode, so to speak, and like go inward, it's probably because there's a transformation that needs to occur, and like you're not responsible for caring about other people's feelings in that moment if you're trying to prioritize your own feelings because
exactly.
you're not going to show up the way everyone else needs if you're not taking moments to do things like that. But I agree with communicating it is important. So, because the people who really care about you are like, are you alive?
Right. You need that check-in sometimes, and it feels
Yeah.
good too for a little ounce of reassurance, you know. So I honestly think it's good. And it's also good for your soul, I believe so, to isolate yourself because, some people go hermit mode for months. Maybe they went through something super traumatic and need to rebuild their armor or something like that, aka their heart, or whatever they went through. I typically believe also if you're on the other end looking out for a person that's already isolating, don't take it personal at all. Maybe take the time to heal on yourself. Even if that is your best friend and they are isolating yourself, maybe it is important to like, do a little check in on them. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like, excuse me, where did my voice go just now?
Oh, what the hell?
I'm good. We're back. Honestly, I think in a way, like, and I feel like that was very like throat chakra that just happened, like people not vocalizing when they need that time.
Yeah, and we're
And
wearing
like,
throat chakra colors too.
yeah, I thought of that too, which is so funny. Because you're right. I think that there's a fine line between isolating when you're like healing and you're going through something and you like need to communicate that with somebody. Um, but I do know there's people who like ghost like that because they're seeking attention, right?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
It's like, it's also like, I think about relationships in that game where it's like, oh, don't text him back for like 3 hours, like in fucking high school and shit. And it's like, that's a mind game. That's not the point of going into isolation. Because I feel like when you are alone, the point is to be alone and get comfortable being alone. So that way you're not codependent, like you said
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
have to learn how to like kind of be your own best friend. And I feel like when I don't think I was ever afraid to be alone. I think that I was always a very social, outgoing person and I liked going out. And in college, like I had a roommate, so there wasn't really a lot of time for me to be alone. I think that when I got out into the world and I was working and it was really when I started to live alone and then like I went through this dark night of the soul and like literally this morning my mom was kind of struggling with, imposter syndrome and things like that and she had called out of work because she like didn't sleep because her mind was like racing a million miles an hour. And I said to her, I know exactly how that feels because that's what drove me into disability in the first place was me feeling like I couldn't deal with life or compartmentalize how I was feeling and show up in the outer world. So you sometimes, that's why mental health days exist now, because sometimes you feel a call to go inward and like heal whatever part of you is having trouble, really. So, but like if you're afraid of your own demons, you're going to do everything in your power to avoid it by hopping from
Hmm.
relationship to relationship, drinking every night, right? Like constantly talking to people, like you're running away from yourself. But it's like the more you do that, the worse it gets. And then eventually, I hate to tell everybody this, but like they're all gonna leave anyway because you're
Right.
clear, you're having a call to go inward for a reason and you're ignoring it. So you're gonna manifest that for yourself. And I feel like I avoided in a way like not being alone, but I think that I can relate to you in being in a relationship where like you're with that person a lot, either for there to help them feel safe or because it makes you feel safe, it just kind of depends on the relationship. But I think that I lost myself in my relationship. And like even though I felt like, oh, I could go do this if I wanted to, it was like, yeah, but my man's here. So you just end up falling into kind of a routine of doing things with your person where even though you might feel a desire to do something for yourself by yourself, or you don't want to make him feel bad because I don't want to be like, get out. You know what I mean? Just you have to learn how to communicate it in a way that's like, I really think
Get
that I
your
could do
ass out of here, man.
yeah. Well, I think there were so many times where at the beginning, like I definitely felt like I wanted to do things by myself, but I didn't want him to feel like I didn't want to include him. So it's like it's getting rid of those people pleaser tendencies
Mm,
too,
yeah.
right? learning how to prioritize yourself, recognize your own needs and communicate those needs. But how are you going to know what your own needs are if you're constantly engaging with other people all the time? There's no self-reflection. There's zero, zip. You can't. You're busy chatting people up. So you kind of have to be by yourself, I feel like, for at least a little bit of time, man. Like,
And tap into that Mars energy, y'all, that Aries Scorpio
mm,
energy. Aries, be by yourself, and Scorpio, be in the dark. You got to. And I like how you said prioritize, because you have to always prioritize yourself first, even in a relationship. Some people, well, me, I'm gonna just speak for me. I always felt like I had to do so much just to satisfy my person. And at the end, I was drained. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like it was vampiric a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. Like, if you're not trying to take care of yourself first, I can never support you. Like, there's no possible way I could, because I could do everything in the world, but if you're still miserable, what really can I do? I could be there morally, but if you're not taking that time to step back and do the shadow work, then hey, see ya. You know.
shadow work. Say aloud over the people in the back, because that's really what it is. Shadow work. I really am trying not to shout into the mic, you guys, even though I'm probably gonna get passionate numerous times this episode and be like, ah! you know?
Shit, say it loud. It's all good.
But
Shit.
it really is like so important because I think that we've kind of been conditioned to look to external people to validate how we're feeling. But you're
Mm.
right, it's never satisfactory if it doesn't come from you first. You have to kind of learn how to give yourself compassion and grace and validation for the way that you're feeling, because then it won't matter what anyone else says to you because you're not going to feel it for yourself.
Have you ever been in a situation where you were trying to isolate yourself, but they were just trying to be with you, like in that present moment?
No, because I feel like I learn pretty quickly to just say it. I
Mm,
don't even think I gave the opportunity. I think I would be like, I just want to do this by myself, or you see me locked into whatever I'm doing and you're like, not bother her. I think because the things I do for self-care, like if I'm sitting there watching TV, yeah, he'll come in and he'll sit with me, or my family, if I'm in the open, you feel a welcomeness from me, whether I'm saying something or not.
mm,
And so if I'm like real, if I'm into a tarot reading or if I'm journaling, I'll sense if someone walks by who's close to me in my life, they're going to be like, oh, she's looking like she's doing something. I'm not going to bother her, which is usually how it happened for me. So I've never had, I think, someone who's clingy in the way that I feel like you've experienced, where it's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Like I feel like maybe I've been that person in my life, but it's not from a control aspect. It's just because I'm like, can I come? Like I want to go have fun. Like it's kind of like one of those things, but I very much respect if that person's like, oh, I want to do this by myself. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe another time. I don't take it personally, but I think that like if it's something that I can do with them and we're both not doing anything, it's like, why not? But if someone specifically says to me, oh, I just feel like I kind of want to do this by myself, pop off, sis. Who am I to tell you otherwise? If that's what you need, that's what you need. Like, I'm not going to be there like, oh my God, they don't like me. No, you're probably just going to hang out with me later anyway.
right. And
You, I love shopping by myself. Sometimes I don't want my man to come to Target with me because I want to take my sweet time.
thank God. No, I'm kidding. Target's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, but nah. Sometimes, like, I was never the type to always go with my woman. Like, it's fine that I don't go to some places. It's okay. Like, you
Hmm.
know, in my past, I would be in situations where that would happen, and I'm like, sure, because I'm thinking of security at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I feel like, so let's give it a good example now that you brought this up. I actually meant to ask you this the other day. So when I was living in Georgia and I had a man that wasn't really my man, but was my man, whatever you call it, situationship. Um, One night it was like 2 a.m. I really couldn't sleep. I had a lot of anxiety. I was tossing and turning. I decided to go to my car and drive 20 minutes to the beach by myself in the middle of the night. He didn't even ask me anything. He didn't text me. He didn't ask me where I was going. He didn't ask if I was okay. I was gone for a good hour and a half, and he said nothing to me. Now, I think there's no way that you would ever allow me, not saying that you have the ability to, but I don't think you would feel right in your soul to not say, I'm coming with you, unless I really was like, no, I need to go by myself. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
or at least like I'm gonna ask first what's wrong first off.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because if I'm ever impulsively feeling the need to leave my fucking house in the middle of the night, something's up.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a sanctuary. What's going on? Like, is it an emergency? Are you good? Where are we going? Like, do you want me to go? Like, I'm asking, like, are you good? You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. Because you cared, this man didn't care. But it really is one of those things where I can understand, like, as a partner, especially from a male perspective, like, depends on where and what, like, you're going to want to go protect your girl. I mean, shit, the masculine in me would do the same shit. You know what I mean? But I think that it's being able to recognize when you need alone time and speaking that, because people are not mind readers. And we've talked about this. There's no way they're going to know that you need alone time. Say that again.
Exactly. I said exactly.
Oh, you whispered it so slow. I barely heard you. I'm not a mother effing mind reader, bitch. But that's the thing. I think that we all sense energy too, you know. But like, if I'm asking you, hey, are you okay? And you say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Right. And other until proven otherwise, because it's like, don't try to spin the block and be like, oh, actually, I wasn't feeling. Oh, then, well, hey, you lied. You lied to me. So,
I think it's
yeah,
okay sometimes, like in those moments, to say, like, I'm fine, because sometimes we don't always know what we're feeling in that moment. And
I don't think
sometimes
so.
really, I think that
Yeah,
sometimes I'll know I'm not feeling like myself, but I won't know what's causing it. And I don't want to speak on it yet until maybe I do have self-reflection or
that's
isolation time,
fine.
you
That's
know?
fine. But at least tell me you're not feeling okay. Then I can have
Yeah.
a sense of like, okay, well, I don't know if she doesn't want to be bothered or not. Like, I probably don't have to know why you're not feeling okay. I just want to know at least if you are or not.
I hear you. You don't want to pretending like, yeah, I'm good. And then clearly you're not.
Exactly, because then I'm
Yeah.
thinking, damn, what's going on?
Yeah, it does. It leaves room for like too much interpretation. I think that like being honest with yourself is what starts that first, right? Is because you,
Right,
you can't be honest with someone with yourself if you're convincing yourself you're okay and you're just not okay, you know?
right.
Yeah, definitely. But I think like it's so crucial because how else do you learn how to recognize your own emotions and transmute them if you're always in the company of somebody else? You kind of need that relationship with you first.
You said you was gonna ask me a question before you said that beach story.
Oh, the question was kind of, it turned into just me answering it for you, which was sorry.
Oh, oh,
I was going to ask you, would you have texted me or like tried to get me if you
yeah.
heard me walk? I feel like you would run
I
out the
mean,
house behind me and be like, babe, where are you going? You good?
yeah, I'm a light sleeper anyways. Like if you move, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna be spooked, but at the same time,
Yeah,
I'm gonna notice something's like moved.
you
So
sense
yeah,
the
I would have ran
energy.
out with you, like, whoa,
Yeah.
hello, hey, you
Yeah,
good?
where are you going? You'd be like, all right, I'll drive. Shit. Like, and so I think that that was really my question is like, what would you do if I just up and left like that? Out of curiosity, because I think that one time with one of my exes, like when I kind of just left the house and I didn't tell anyone where I was going, I needed to like go cool down. So I just went for a walk, but I didn't tell him that I was going. So but like that's so rare for me. I'm not just like a up and dip, not tell any people. It's only when I'm like feeling hella overwhelmed. But if I
Mm,
feel like they don't really care anyway, I'm not going to say anything or trust that I'll be back. But I think that it was in those moments where I really scared my first partner with that because he didn't know where I went. Like I was like, oh, because like I was really single before that. I've never really had to communicate those types of
uh,
actions to people before. So that was the first time I ever did that. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like you forget almost that I care how people feel, but I know that I need to prioritize how I feel first. But when it comes to like someone you love, you should just say like, hey, I'm kind of feeling where I'm going to go for a stroll. You know what I mean? Like get some air.
Mhm.
Just saying something is better than saying nothing, you know? At least it gives them a peace of mind, especially if they care about you. But I think that for so long, I isolated myself because I was trying to understand my inner world. And you just can't communicate with anyone until you know what goes on within you, you know?
Are there any suggestions you would give the people on not necessarily how, or like maybe a little bit of that, or like how you would isolate yourself?
I think I think it's knowing your intuition, knowing when you're not feeling in alignment, right? Which is usually if you're feeling negative emotion. If you know that you're like snapping on people that you love,
Mhm.
if you're noticing this pattern where you lash out, that might be a clue to be like, hey, maybe I should
You
sit my
know,
ass down,
take them out the
and
game, coach.
yeah, very much that, because who are you really serving by being like that out there? You know what I mean? Like, I think that when you notice you're acting out of character, that's a call to go inwards. Now, if the question is, what the fuck do you do once you're by yourself? I think that there are things that there's like tools or like permission slips you can do. People journal, people read, but I think that like, you don't want to limit yourself to saying like this is the only thing I can do when I'm alone. You know,
Mm, good one. Yeah.
do it brings you joy, but what it does is it creates a space for you to have quiet where you can discover what you need. Because your
Mhm.
inner being will tell you,
Yeah, absolutely.
bitch, you need to fucking go to bed, or it might be like, you need to eat something. You've been taking care of, your man and your children. Have you eaten? You know,
Right? Drink some water.
Drink some water, because most of the times it's that we react so poorly because one of those basic needs hasn't been met. And then
Yeah.
we're getting mad at our husband for not asking if we're okay. Like, bitch, did you ask yourself if you're okay? The fuck you getting mad for? You probably could have resolved it an hour ago by just having a snack.
Crazy work. Hangry is a real thing, y'all.
Yes. Now, I'm not an angry person. I get emotional, okay? So all of a sudden I'll be sitting there, right? And sometimes my hunger cues don't really tell me, like, right? Like if I'm hungry, but I'll like maybe know that I haven't eaten in a while. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why do I feel like I'm gonna cry right now? I'm
Tears
like,
watering up.
and it's like, yeah, it's literally like bubbling up at me, and I'm like, I didn't even think nothing. I'm chilling. Like what? And then something in me is like, hungry, and I'm like, oh, let me go eat something. But
Crazy
but
shit.
until you're quiet, right? Because like let's say I was in a room with you and you didn't know me that well, right? You're not going to know that because I'm crying that I'm probably just hungry.
Mm,
You're not going to know that. So you're going to immediately be like, oh my God, what's wrong? Is it something I did? Because that's our instinct as people to be like, oh,
mm.
oh, what did I do?
Right, because if we're just chilling, watching TV, I'm like, I know I ain't do nothing. What the hell?
Yeah, like we were fine a second ago. And so like the panic starts to set in. But I do think that like people really do be in their own worlds even when they're sitting somewhere. Like you're not
Mm,
always present if you're in your head. So I think that like I seeked a lot of like help from external people to like help me figure out what was wrong, because especially in the times where I really couldn't figure it out. So I feel like therapy helped me a little bit with that, because a lot of the time it really is like, wish I can remember the analogy one of my therapists gave me one time. It was like, are you hungry? Oh, it was halt. Like hungry, angry, like lonely or tired, or there was like
mm.
horny in there too. Like there was some other analogy, I don't remember what it was. But like are
I
you
like the
hungry?
Hulk. That's good.
Yeah, it's like, are you hungry or are you horny? I think that could either mean those, which is, why maybe you're emotional, is if you feel like you're
Either way you
lacking
use it.
in one of those areas, right? Are you lonely? Are you tired? Like, are you thirsty? Like, just kind of asking yourself those moments in that pause. Cause, like, I feel like once those physical needs maybe are basically met, I can guarantee that that's why y'all be tripping out there. It's just because you haven't met your own needs, the
Yeah, you
basic
gotta
ones.
halt, y'all. Halt.
Yeah, pause, like just breathe, like one breath in, and just, I think we need to normalize talking to ourselves.
Oh my God, I talk to myself all the time. And me being a Gemini, I talk to my counsel. It's like at least 10 of us. Like, hey, am I good? Am I good? I gotta make sure I am good.
Insert board table of just David faces, please, Chloe.
It's just a committee of me, committing me.
T-shirt, committee of me.
Yeah, facts. It's
I
just
have to
like,
debrief.
yeah, I gotta debrief because that's not all the time. Like sometimes I could be impulsive when I make moves. It's like if I feel like it's right, I'm like, okay, no risks. Okay, cool, I'm going in. But when I need to deep dive in something, I gotta debrief. So I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah, I think that like we all were kind of taught that that's a little crazy, but I think that it helped me a lot because I'm like, and talk to me like I'm weak because because you know what I feel like? I feel like there is a version of me at every age always in me. So sometimes if I'm feeling some type of way, right? And I think I even said this to you in a discussion that we had last night. I was like, yeah, the 13-year-old me is the one that reacted to that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you did say that.
And that's part of shadow work too. It's inner child work.
Mm,
It's a part of you that when was younger felt abandoned or unheard or disregarded or hurt in some way and has to be reparented by you. So sometimes that version of you that's like healing like comes up and it's like kind of a cry for help. But the problem is when you're looking to other people to heal that, it's never really going to be resolved because you have to show up for you in that
right, absolutely.
way first, which is why I was saying to you, it's not you. This is a version of me that I didn't realize was there until this second. Still, I think that me telling you what was going on in my head like helped kind of relieve some of that. But it really is that sometimes you don't know why you react or if you're going to react a certain way until the time comes. Things come to light, things change, and then I'm like, oh, I think anyone who's done shadow work and has been on a healing journey knows that they thought that something was healed until it wasn't.
Yeah, you get in the same situations like, whoa, I thought I'd done that work already.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I have a little more to do. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I didn't realize. But I think that the key to that is, of course, you're going to try to get out ahead of it to the best of your ability because you don't want to project on people, but we're also humans. Sometimes we're going to react to things, but I think it's how you react. Are you
Yeah,
are you reacting aggressively? Are you reacting, uh, you know, because I've never been able to resonate with like people out there who, when they're really mad at their partner, they like throw shit. I've never had an urge in my life to like pick something up and throw it at somebody ever.
facts. Like you're psychotic.
Like that's really like, oh wow, you really hate yourself so much that you can't even talk to your own self. That's very sad to me.
Yeah.
That shows me how neglected you really were your whole life. And then it makes me feel bad because then I'm like, oh damn, like you probably grew up around people that normalize that kind of behavior. So you
Hmm.
started to do that. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like I look at adult people, and this is a blessing and a curse. I feel like I look at adult people and I see like 6-year-old them. And
Yeah.
so I have empathy, I think, for everybody because I know that at some point you were just a helpless little kid and the way you're acting now is just a protection mechanism. So like I just want to give you a hug, because I know it's not really their fault that they're like this. But I do think that I had to realize that at some point I realized that I couldn't help all those people the way I would hope to, because they're not helping themselves. That if they're brought to awareness that the way that they're behaving is not helping themselves or loving other people around them, and they're still choosing to be in that toxic behavior, I have to remove myself because I love myself enough to do that, you know?
Mm. Excellent.
Excelente.
Thanks.
But yeah, I just know that for a lot of my recent, like the last 6 years, I needed to be alone. I was alone while I was in a relationship, which is a whole different beast. And for the people who have experienced that, I know you know how that feels, where it's like you don't even feel like you can go to that person or that they understand you. So you're engaging in that life where you're like hanging out and everything's cool and kiki, but you're still like in your own internal world. Like if he's at work and I'm by myself, you best believe I'm utilizing that fuck out of that time. I don't think you necessarily have to be completely single and alone and heal everything before you ever get into a relationship. I think that's unrealistic. I think that there's things that are going to come up in a relationship that trigger you that you need to heal that only can come up when you're in a relationship. I don't think you can become this perfect person just by spending 7 years alone. But I do think that everyone needs at least enough time to learn who you are and feel confident in who you are because it makes you better for you and the people that you're showing up for in life after that.
And don't be toxic positive either, because some people use that as a weapon, like, oh, I'm healed, so you should be too. Well, that's not fair because people
The
have
fact
different
that they even said it like that means they're not.
exactly, like people have different speeds, y'all. Come on.
Well, and that's why I said too, I don't think that everyone needs to be by themselves because I think we all deserve support, but I think that where that line is drawn is like, are you really toxic when you're in the healing process? If like I'm just a bitch who cries, like my man's just gonna give me a hug and I'll figure it out, I'll be all right. But if I'm throwing shit and I'm hurting people around me because I'm avoiding myself and like doing the inner work, then
Ooh,
it's not okay.
not
No, figure it out, you guys. Come on.
at
Come on, because you have to think if the roles were reversed, would you want someone to do that to you? You
all.
know?
Right.
Or at least if you notice this pattern of people in your life leaving,
Hello. Everybody is the bad guy when they leave you. Okay, all right. All right.
I would suggest that maybe a death of the ego and a rebirth is kind of due.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that we gave some real good pondering questions and
Drop
things
them
to think about
gems.
for the people. So, do you have anything else, babe, that you want to make sure that the people know about this topic or share anything else before we kind of wrap it up?
Shoot, I ain't got nothing. I'm ready to get on this celestial stuff in a
I know,
minute.
I feel like the last 5 minutes you're like astrology, astrology.
We got to break it down for y'all.
Yeah, so let's get into it. We are gonna
Oh, what's up, y'all? We coming back with the Astrolo-tea session, and baby girl, got to get that tarot in. So thank you guys for like all the support and stuff. I just like feeling like saying that because you guys have been supporting us for just short time, and it feels like forever. So we love y'all. We love y'all.
thanks,
Uh,
old fam.
Thank y'all so much. And like I always say, if you do want a reading from Chloe or a natal reading from me, you can go down below and click the link.
It wouldn't be an Ethers video without a dirty joke in there somewhere. Let's be so for real.
Eaters, like yeah, we're gonna eat y'all, but excuse my vulgarity.
Cut.
But you can click the link down in the description below, and if you're on Spotify, you can go on YouTube too. You feel me? But I'm gonna go ahead and start this astrology business, right? So as of May 2nd, 2025, the sun is currently in Taurus and the moon's in Cancer. So basically, that typically means you may be a little stubborn when it comes to your emotions and stuff like that. Like the way you express yourself, people may come off as like you feel like you're getting picked on type of energy, or you're going to be way more lazy this time around. So the fresh start of the tour is the first decon, which is the first 10 days. You may be a little lazy, so you might want to put some pep in your step. So if someone says, get that ass up, that may mean more than one thing. Then you might want to just get up and get to work. So
That's
also,
that's a type of get my ass up I don't mind doing, you know what I mean?
yeah, baby. But so also Mercury retrograde, that comes 3 times a year. So the third time it's coming around is on 7/15, I think. No, no,
Mm,
no, sorry. 7/11 on the 11th of the seventh month, and then it's leaving on the 8th or the eighth month. So what's the seventh month? August?
June,
June?
July, July.
Oh, it's July. Sorry. Yeah, it is July. And the next month after that is leaving on the 11th again. So prepare yourselves mentally on those times because that'll
Feel
be
like
a
we
little bit
feel like
more.
we just got out of it.
Yeah, but with Mercury, it's a speedy planet, so it's gonna spin the block at least three times.
Like y'all exes.
Yeah, so if
What
you
goes
did something
around comes around.
exactly, so if you've been doing people dirty, you might be reaching people like reaching out to people and stuff like that. So be cautious because that's still Cancery energy right there. Well, no, it won't be in Cancer. It'll be Leo energy right there. So check yourself. Um,
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Facts. Great song, by the way. Also, we didn't do this last time, but we're gonna also do the song of the week, which kind of
Hmm.
correlates to how we're breaking it all down with the energies as well. And I got it right here because I've never heard of this band. So if you guys have, cool. The song that kind of correlates with the Taurus Sun and Cancer Moon is "The Night Owls" by the Little River Band, and they got another song right here. It's somebody named the Peche Mode. I hope I'm saying it right, and it's called like the things you said, and then Tainted Love. So that makes sense right there, especially with the Tainted Love part. I never heard these songs, so I'm gonna listen to those songs myself.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll put up the like album cover and we'll link them in our description box so that
yes.
way you guys can go check them out.
Me and Chloe was thinking about doing a playlist for YouTube, but we'll just put the song up just to, you guys do the search. We ain't gonna do all the work. Feel it,
No,
lady.
I no, I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna link it. But
Uh,
what I think I'll do I like to
that's
make it easy because I think about myself as a viewer and I'm like, oh, what's that song? Like, what did they say? And like knowing I could just go to the description box and be like, oh, yeah, it's just nice.
fair, fair. Look, Chloe offered. I just say, hey, we had to do the work. You can do it too, but we love y'all, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah, well, let us know if y'all like the song of the week because maybe eventually we will compile them into like our own little playlist. But I
And let
think
us know
for
if you actually like this concept, like
yes.
Astrolo-tea and then the songs as well. Just we're just trying to add different segments so it don't be super bland.
Yeah, and you're a musician, so it just felt right to incorporate music somehow?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
David Banks on all platforms.
And I did do like two musicals in middle school where I sang, so I consider myself very musically inclined.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Get the vocal cords right.
Terrible. I lost all of it.
Look, I can't sing worth a lick,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no.
that's
You'll
a
have you're gonna carry us both in that realm for sure.
cool.
He's like, yeah.
But yeah, that's the Astrolo-tea for that day, I guess, or for the week. Because of course
Mhm.
the moon phase lasts like 2.5 days. So, but this is just for this episode in particular for this day. So yeah.
Well, I think I can speak for everyone when I say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for that weather forecast. It was very needed.
You're welcome. Stay frosty out there.
Stay frosty there. And let's dive into tarot talk. Let's kind of now that we know the astrological forecast, we'll see what spirit has to say regarding that Taurus season energy. And right off the bat, it we got the Knight of Swords in
Ooh,
reverse.
explain.
So slow down a little bit.
Damn, that's crazy.
And and I also feel like it very much relates to today's discussion of making sure that you communicate when you need to slow down.
Wow, this is real time, y'all. This is not pre-recorded. This is real time right here.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try
Oh yeah,
to.
get that stuff alone.
Right.
Oh,
On
for
the
uh,
go.
for the
Oh
Spotify users, yeah, some cards
yeah.
flew out.
Holy shit, babe.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
So the reason why we're reacting this way, y'all, is because I pulled a few cards before we even started recording this, and it came out again.
It's the death card for the Spotify users.
Yes, yes, this is the death card. And then I kind of went into this card if you haven't seen our other video where we do
The tower, the death card, and the devil card.
yes, 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 the misconceptions video. I kind of explained that, but it also came out with temperance.
Ooh, I think I know a little bit about a temperance, but can you elaborate?
Yeah, so this is very, hold on. Spirit's telling me to pull the top card. Oh, okay, okay. So this is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, y'all. So this just means to me, especially in Taurus season, making sure that you are in the right alignment before you do any work.
Mmm.
It's saying make sure that you're in a balanced place and your cup is full before you're giving any energy to anything. Okay. Especially with that death card in the back like this. It's like, hey, if you continue to do work when you're feeling wobbly, okay, and
Yeah.
you're planting seeds that you're not aware of, you're not gonna like those seeds, bitch.
Ooh.
You're not gonna like the fruit. It's gonna be dead. It's gonna be
Ooh.
rotten. Okay.
Right.
Rotten. So I feel like, yeah, and this is sticking out of there too. Okay, this is the Knight of Wands in reverse there too, which is very much like don't rush ahead until you know that you're in the space to do so.
So maybe with this towards Cancer energy, it's probably okay to be lazy a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And especially because like what's happening is that the reason why, and it kind of relates to isolation, I think there's a misconception around laziness because really I feel like when we're feeling called to be lazy or to withdraw or to isolate or not really do much, it's because I have the Three of Pentacles here in reverse and the Two of Wands in reverse here on the bottom. Okay. This is kind of telling me, like, hey, get clear on where you want to go and who you want to collaborate with and work with before you
Hmm.
do anything. So sometimes that laziness where you're like, nah, I don't feel like doing shit today, it's because you need to connect with yourself
Mm.
and bring some things to light that maybe you've been doing too much and working with other people that it wasn't for you. And then this just flipped out in my hand too. It's
Knight of Pentacles.
yes, it's the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, three knights. Okay. And I feel like that's significant because the knights is a very ambitious.
Suit.
It's not a suit, I guess, the knights, but like the knights are very ambitious. So the fact that it seems like all the knights were coming out in reverse like that is what?
Uh, nothing.
Well, we'll still tap on that later. Ha! I'm sorry. Okay, we're back. Anyway, bye
Was it
bye,
another night
Cecilia.
card? No, that's the same one.
No, it is. No, the reason I just died over there is because I said tap that later. I'm sorry. Because
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, you're laughing at a naughty joke I didn't get. And I said, like, we'll tap back into that later. And then I made my own dirty joke that I laughed at. So that's just what happens to me. Anyway, the three, the cut needs to come in now. I get my life together. The knights being in reverse is very significant because it means that maybe you should kind of embrace the fact that you guys might not want to do anything because it might give time for more divinely inspired ideas and more clarity about the direction you want to move in before you start actually doing the work to do so. Don't what's the phrase? Don't get too much ahead of it. You know what I mean? It's like when you try to like start something, but you're not. What's that phrase you said preparing to me the other day?
Oh, poor preparation prevents perfect performance.
That's
Yeah.
the energy that it's giving. So trust that maybe you're feeling called to like relax and chill the fuck out a little bit. And I did have a thought when you said, if someone's telling you to like kind of be lazy, get that ass up, you know what I mean? That sometimes it's okay to sorry. So it's okay to maybe not always listen to what someone else is telling you to do. basically. That if you're feeling called to kind of be still, it might be for good reason. And who knows, maybe something better can come out of it. You know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, close it. Oh yeah, closing card.
Oh, what's that? The Ten of Cups?
Yeah, right on the top. Something better, like I just said. Okay.
Nice.
You'll feel more fulfilled. You'll feel happier with what you're creating, who you're working with, everything gathering together when you kind
Body.
of take a moment to pause. Oh yeah, and then I have the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles that's kind of sitting out too. Okay, so this is very much like trust
Very
that
earthy.
very earthy. Things will be very fruitful if you don't, the phrase, I have a phrase. I'm going to insert it later because I know it's going to come to me. Okay. There's a certain quote that is trying to come to my mind where it's not, but it really is like taking a moment to pause and collect yourself before wanting to proceed because you don't want to attract the wrong thing because you're not in alignment. You know what I mean? We don't want that. We're too conscious of a creator to do things like that. And yeah, that's really it for tarot talk and kind of touching on the astrology. And I also had a song that I felt like was kind of the Taurus energy. I also knew that the Hierophant was the kind of correlating card to Taurus. So that was also kind of my inspiration for the song, which is a song by her called Focus. I actually have this in my own playlist. It's like, can you focus on me? I'm sure y'all know it. Okay. So the reason I feel like that song is definitely applicable too is because I feel like it's asking for presence in a way. It's like, can you focus on me? Put your attention on me. It's like wanting to be seen in a relationship. In the Taurus energy, it's like you want to feel secure, you want to feel like really that you're a person and that you're being emotionally loyal to yourself and that your partner or whoever is like reflecting that same energy to you too. So I
Mm.
would say if y'all in your feels and you're like, man, this is my man, my woman, my daisy, they ain't doing what they need to be doing. It's like I understand you want them to focus on you, but I think the better question is, are you focusing on you?
Ooh, that's the kicker. Oh yeah. Good job,
Mm.
babe. That was very insightful. People be denying the power of the celestial cell phone, aka tarot card. So I'd be like, that shit's real, you know.
I couldn't make it up even if I wanted to, I swear.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah,
All right. Yeah.
that's it, really.
You good?
Chill little episode. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate y'all, man. And like we always say, we love y'all, man. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We out this thing. Woo!
Later.